Vinyl community, this is Tommy and welcome to another musical adventure. Today's adventure is a response to Sam St. John. My buddy Sam St. John has a channel here in the vinyl community. If you haven't checked it out, please do so. Just look up Sam St. John and I'll put a link to his channel down below in the description. Go check out his channel, subscribe. He's got a lot of neat things to talk about. He likes a lot of great music and he reviews a lot of different things. Just go check out his channel. Well, he did a video that was sort of a thread starter, if you will, concerning the anniversary of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles. The great Beatles album, Sgt. Pepper, and the iconic cover. And his thread starter was if you were to put together a Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Of course, the idea behind the cover was that this was going to be a concert given by Sgt. Pepper, and the people, the photos on the front cover would be the audience. And these were all people that the Beatles wanted to invite to the Sgt. Pepper show, including the Beatles themselves, as Sam pointed out. And so his thread, or his question, is if you were to put out an album or you were to release your own Sgt. Pepper, what 5 artists would you include on your Sgt. Pepper cover? Now, you could do 5 musicians, five anybody you want. Who are your 5? Sam picked 5 musicians. Now, there is one rule. None of the people you pick can be the Beatles themselves, including solo Beatles. So they're excluded from your Sgt. Pepper cover. So the idea is to list 5 artists that you would have on your Sgt. Pepper cover, and who would they be? And I thought a little bit about this because there's so many. You could pick like some large groups and say, all right, well, there you go, you're going to fill it up. But I started thinking about it like 5 sort of people, some musical, some not musical, and some for the mere fact that they're just people I admire, which sort of was, I think, the idea behind who was on the Beatles cover, along with just in general musical influences, things of that nature. So what 5 people would I pick? And I chose 5, I picked 5 sort of people just, and I thought about it. I mean, there's so many. Walt Disney, I think it'd be cool to have Walt Disney on the cover. But I went with just 5, and the first 5 that came to mind. And so I thought I'd share with you guys. The first, the only non-musician that's going to be on my cover, but sort of I say non-musician, kind of a musician. Those of you who know, I mean, he has been involved in music. David Lynch. David Lynch, the film director, famous film director. Most of you know him from Blue Velvet, Twin Peaks. Just one of my favorite people on the planet Earth. I'm a big David Lynch fan. And so David Lynch would be on my Sgt. Pepper cover. Now the next 4 are going to be musicians. The next is going to be Pete Townsend. Pete Townsend, not only because I think he just would look cool on the cover, but I think in particular Pete Townsend is such a big influence on my own songwriting. I often tell people I wouldn't write a song if it weren't for Pete Townsend, and probably most of the songs I've written have been rip-offs of Pete Townsend songs in some form or another. So Pete Townsend would be on my cover. That's number 2. Number 3 would be Jeff Lynne. I just have a fascination with Jeff Lynne. Another one I think would look cool. I kind of personally want to see Pete Townsend, Jeff Lynne, and David Lynch all sharing like the same spotlight. I think that'd just be an interesting group of folks. So Jeff Lynne would be on my Sgt. Pepper cover. The other would be, number 4, would be another one of my all-time favorites and followers of my channel, and another that I probably would just want to like be a fly on the wall in the room when the photo was taken. Of course, I'm assuming we're going to get the live people in there, not cutouts as on the Sgt. Pepper. But the other one would be Michael Nesmoth. I think Michael Nesmoth is such an interesting character. I think that I think in a room full of ideas, to have Michael Nesmoth on in that room of people and as an influence. I just think it would be interesting, and he's probably the oddball out in the sense that he's probably the least famous of my five picks. He would be the guy that would be there, and people would be like, "Well, I recognize him, but who is that?" But still, I would definitely invite him to my Sergeant Pepper party, as which way I'm looking at it, not so much as a cover as a party. And then, of course, the fifth person that I would pick, the fifth and final person that I would pick for the purposes of this thread, would be none other than Brian Wilson. Now, Sam picked Brian Wilson, and I tried to steer clear of some of Sam's picks, but Brian is just he's such a personal sort of force in my own musical journey. I'd be hard pressed to exclude Brian. I don't know how interesting the conversation would be. I don't know what it would be, but just as a meaningful person to have on the cover of my Sgt. Pepper. So there you have it: David Lynch, Pete Townsend, Jeff Lynne, Michael Nesmoth, and Brian Wilson. Those are my 5 Sgt. Peppers. So here's what you got to do. Go ahead and make your own video. Which 5 artists, excluding the Beatles, would you have on your Sgt. Pepper album cover? Who would you pick? Who would you invite? It's personal. There's no wrong answers here. Just fun. Go check out Sam St. John. Great channel. Just, like I said, he's up and coming, and he's got a lot of cool things to say and a lot of good ideas about music. Go check out his channel. Subscribe to this channel. If you haven't done it, please subscribe. I appreciate all the help I can get. Comment down below if you don't want to make a video. Tell me what you think. Which 5 would you pick? But I'd rather see you make a video. But if you do comment, I do try to respond. And I will see you all again very soon with another musical adventure. In the meantime, save the Texas Prairie Chicken.